They're only asking.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly
Hey Big Bang fans, welcome back to The Famous File, your go-to channel for all the behind-the-scenes scoop and nostalgic deep dives into your favorite TV shows. Today, we're unraveling the quirky, science-filled world of The Big Bang Theory. For 12 hilarious seasons, this show brought us into the lives of Sheldon, Leonard, Penny, and the rest of the gang as they navigated love, friendship, and way too many Star Wars references. But what about the stars behind these iconic characters? Where did they come from, and where are they now? From humble beginnings and career breakthroughs to jaw-dropping paychecks, shocking scandals, and life after the show, we're diving into it all. So grab a cup of tea, or a can of Diet Dr. Pepper if you're channeling Sheldon, and let's get started with the Big Bang Theory cast. Then and now. Jim Parsons as Sheldon Cooper. All right, let's kick things off with the man, the myth, the quirky legend, Jim Parsons, aka Sheldon Cooper.
Do you know the theme song to your own show?
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state.
Whether he was schooling us on physics or driving his friends to the brink of madness with his Sheldon-y ways, Jim made the Big Bang Theory unforgettable. But who is the guy behind the genius? Jim Parsons was born on March 24, 1973, in Houston, Texas. As a kid, he wasn't calculating theoretical physics. He was falling in love with the performing arts. He grew up in a close-knit family, with his mother working as a teacher and his father running a plumbing business. Jim discovered his love for acting in school, performing in plays as early as first grade. By high school, he'd fully embraced his theatrical side, and the stage became his second home. After high school, Jim studied theater at the University of Houston, followed by graduate studies at the University of San Diego. He wasn't an overnight success, though. It took years of auditions, minor roles, and even commercials before his big break. After earning a theater degree at the University of Houston and completing grad school in San Diego, Jim made the big move to New York City to chase his acting dreams. At first, the Big Apple wasn't too kind. He appeared in off-Broadway plays.
I turned, and there was this great white rabbit leaning.
Snagged a recurring role on Judging Amy.
It ain't gonna be no joke. Man, are you serious?
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Excuse you, man. I'm on the
And even had a bit part in the 2004 indie hit Garden State. Then came 2006, a pivotal year. Jim auditioned for The Big Bang Theory and completely wowed co-creator Chuck Lorre. Lorre later told the Toronto Star that Jim nailed it from the moment he walked into the room. In fact, Lorre was so impressed, he asked Jim to audition twice just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Jim was born to play Sheldon Cooper. Jim's portrayal of Sheldon turned him into a household name and earned him 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe. He became the face of the show and helped cement its legacy as one of TV's most watched sitcoms. But after 12 seasons, Jim was ready to move on. He admitted that by the time The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, he was emotionally and creatively drained. Jim's decision effectively ended the show. The rest of the cast had to come to terms with the fact that it was over, not because the network canceled it, but because one of its biggest stars was ready to move on. Reportedly, there were mixed emotions among his co-stars. Some understood Jim's choice, while others were disappointed, feeling the show still had more life in it. Kaylee Cuoco, in particular, has been open about how difficult it was to say goodbye to a series that had become like family. Adding fuel to the fire, fans weren't too happy either. Some blamed Jim for the show's end, while others respected his decision to prioritize his personal and professional growth. In an interview, Jim addressed the backlash, saying he knew it was the right time for him to move on, even if it was bittersweet.
Leonard, I apologize if I haven't been the friend you deserve. But I want you to know in my way.
During production breaks on his hit sitcom, Parsons pursued other creative opportunities. He surfaced as the human version of the puppet Walter in The Muppets, 2011.
Arachnid. Now, I'm a little embarrassed because while I think arachnid sounds like a really cool word,
And in 2014, he appeared in Zach Braff's dramatic comedy Wish I Was Here.
I ask you, sir. Jesus. This shit is horrible. In college,
And lent his voice to the lovable alien, O, in the animated movie Home. Following his role in the dark thriller Visions, 2015, Parsons was among the cast of the Oscar-nominated biopic Hidden Figures. 2016. And let's not forget Young Sheldon, the beloved show that made its first appearance in 2017. The series explores Sheldon's childhood growing up in East Texas, with Ian Armitage absolutely nailing the role of young Sheldon. As for Jim's personal life, Jim's longtime partner is Todd Spywak, a New York-based art director. The two have been together since 2002, long before Jim became a household name as Sheldon. And it's been a pretty low-key relationship, which Jim likes to keep out of the public eye as much as possible. In fact, when Jim first started dating Todd, he didn't publicly come out as gay until 2012, after much of their relationship had already been kept private. Jim has been very open about how much Todd means to him, and how important it was to have a solid foundation in their relationship. In speaking about their life together, Parsons said in 2013, "I've never considered myself an activist. I've never considered my relationship with Todd to be an act of activism. Rather simply, it's an act of love. Coffee in the morning, going to work, washing the clothes, taking the dogs out, a regular life, boring love." Parsons and Spewak married on May 13, 2017 at the Rainbow Room in New York City. Jim is an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights.
I do remember the first guy in theater that I had a crush on, and it was beautiful. It was kind of stereotypical.
Which comes as no surprise given his own journey as an openly gay man. He's used his influence to support causes that promote equality and inclusion. In interviews, he's often shared how important it is to him to live authentically, and his visibility as a major TV star has been significant for LGBTQ+ representation in Hollywood. While Jim isn't exactly the type to get into Twitter spats about politics, his values, and the work he chooses to support, speak volumes. All right, let's move on. Next up, we're diving into Kaley Cuoco's life after The Big Bang Theory. From her Hollywood career to her personal milestones, there's so much to unpack. Stick around. Kaley Cuoco is Penny. Kaley Cuoco, who brought the charming, no-nonsense Penny to life.
After 200-something episodes, do you?
I think I do.
Would you sing it? Could you sing it?
She started as the girl next door in The Big Bang Theory and became one of the highest-paid actresses in TV history. But where did Kaley's journey begin? And what's life been like for her since the show? Let's find out. Kaley was born in 1985 in Camarillo, California, and had a natural knack for the spotlight. She started modeling and acting at a young age, with her first big role coming in 8 Simple Rules.
Sex is a complex and difficult decision, and we will not let peer pressure dictate our actions.
But did you know her path could have been completely different? Kaley didn't just love acting as a kid, she was also a tennis prodigy. Her parents encouraged her to pick a hobby outside of acting, and tennis became her go-to. By her early teens, Kaley was a regionally ranked amateur and even competed in tournaments.
CNN tonight. Bob's gonna Bob. She was top 100 in the nation. Stop that. She was.
Talk about a multi-talented star. But at 16, she realized balancing tennis and acting wasn't in the cards, so she chose the latter. Looks like she made the right call. After starring in shows like 8 Simple Rules, Kaley landed the role of Penny in 2007. And the rest is sitcom history. Over the show's 12 seasons, she brought humor, heart, and plenty of sass to the gang. And let's not forget, her chemistry with Johnny Galecki wasn't just on screen. They dated during the show's early years.
Oh, hi.
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 Post Big Bang Theory, Kaley took her career to new heights, starring in The Flight Attendant, which earned her Emmy and Golden Globe nominations.
When I woke up in the morning,
She's also been the voice of Harley Quinn in DC's animated series, showing off her edgy and comedic side.
Not now when? I can't spend my whole life just bashing goons. I want to be your partner in crime.
Kaley's dedication isn't just to her craft, it's also to her health. A self-professed fitness junkie, she works out 5 days a week, doing everything from hot yoga to spinning. And she's never shied away from admitting she's had a little help along the way. She's been open about her plastic surgery, calling her breast implants at 18 the best thing she ever did. Kaley's philosophy? If it makes you feel confident, go for it.
December's Women's Health magazine, she admitted that she got her nose done and her breasts enhanced, and that it was the best thing she...
In her personal life, Kaylee's experienced her share of ups and downs. At age 25, Kaley Cuoco accepted the surprise marriage proposal of her then-boyfriend, addiction specialist Josh Lazy Resnick. However, only a few months after the announcement, while appearing at the March 2012 Academy of Television Arts and Sciences 21st Annual Hall of Fame ceremony, Cuoco was asked about her wedding planning inspirations. She told Entertainment Tonight simply, "I'm not engaged anymore." Kaylee's first marriage was to tennis player Ryan Sweeting in 2013.
Husband Ryan Sweeting is asking for spousal support.
It seemed like a match made in heaven, until it wasn't. After just 21 months, Kaylee filed for divorce, later revealing that the relationship had turned toxic. She didn't hold back, calling the experience a mistake and one of the hardest chapters of her life. Her second marriage was to equestrian Carl Cook in 2018, and for a while, it looked like she'd found her forever partner. The two bonded over their love of animals and even had a quirky wedding that perfectly matched Kaylee's fun-loving personality. But by 2021, they announced their split, saying their lives were heading in opposite directions. 2 marriages down, Kaylee was starting to wonder if love just wasn't in the cards for her. But then came Tom Pelphrey, and this time, Kaylee's stance on marriage was a little different.
Are you ready for a little daddy confessions?
I'm ready.
How old is Matilda, by the way?
She'll be 3 weeks old in 2 days.
Tildy is
In 2022, Kaylee and Tom started dating, and the chemistry was undeniable. Fast forward to 2024, and Kaylee gave birth to their first child, a daughter named Matilda. 3rd time's the charm, right? Her story is proof that life and love can be messy, unpredictable, and sometimes downright exhausting. But it's also a reminder that you should never lose hope. Even after heartbreak, Kaylee kept her heart open, and it led her to a beautiful family and a partner who truly understands her.
Johnny Galecki as Leonard Hofstadter. Moving on to Johnny Galecki, the man behind Leonard Hofstadter, the lovable, slightly neurotic physicist who made geeky look cool. Leonard wasn't just the heart of the Big Bang Theory. He was also the guy who gave us hope that even socially awkward scientists could land their dream girl. Johnny Galecki's story starts in Brie, Belgium, where he was born in 1975 to an American family. His dad was stationed overseas with the U.S. Air Force, but the family soon moved back to Illinois, where Johnny grew up. He showed a knack for acting early on, performing in community theater by the age of 7. Johnny's big break came as a teenager when he starred as Rusty Griswold in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989.
Grandma Nora's got a real painful burr on my heel, and if you rub it for me, I'll give you a whole quarter. A quarter. And I'll give Audrey a quarter.
From there, he became a familiar face on TV, especially as David Healy on Roseanne, a role that cemented him as a 90s TV favorite.
Oh, I'm not running away. Moving into her house was just an idea. We didn't think it would hurt to ask.
But his biggest career leap came in 2007 when he landed the role of Leonard Hofstadter on The Big Bang Theory. Playing Leonard wasn't just a success, it was a phenomenon. The show turned Johnny into one of the highest-paid actors on television, earning up to $1 million per episode by the later seasons. Not bad for a guy who started out in community theater, right? Johnny has racked up some serious hardware over the years. He won a Satellite Award for his performance and was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and no less than 6 Screen Actors Guild Awards. But there's more to Johnny than just his acting chops. Beyond the spotlight, he's a passionate philanthropist, making a real difference in the world. He's actively involved in charitable organizations like the Humane Society, the Trevor Project, and the American Red Cross, showing his dedication to causes close to his heart. Whether he's advocating for LGBTQ+ rights, supporting disaster relief efforts, or helping animals in need, Johnny's commitment to giving back is truly admirable. Off-screen, Johnny's personal life has had its share of headlines. He famously dated his Big Bang co-star Kaley Cuoco in the early seasons of the show. Although they broke up, the two remained close friends, a dynamic they both said made working together easier.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi. Johnny later dated model Elena Meyer, and the couple welcomed a son in 2019. And while Johnny's career has mostly been scandal-free, He did face some tabloid attention during his relationship with Elena due to their 22-year age gap. The couple broke up in 2020, and since then, Johnny's kept his personal life out of the headlines, focusing on family and his career. So, where is Johnny Galecki in 2024? He's living a quieter life, enjoying fatherhood, and carefully selecting his next move. Whether he's in front of the camera or behind it, Johnny has already cemented his legacy as one of TV's most beloved stars.
Simon Helberg as Howard Wolowitz. Next up, let's talk about Simon Helberg, aka Howard Wolowitz, the resident aerospace engineer and the guy with the most outrageous wardrobe on The Big Bang Theory. But before Simon was strutting around in skinny jeans and belt buckles big enough to double as satellite dishes, he had a much more low-key start in life. Simon was born in 1980 in Los Angeles, California, into a family with showbiz roots. His dad, Sandy Helberg, is an actor, and his mom, Harriet, was a casting director, so you could say Simon was destined for Hollywood. Growing up, he was a talented pianist and even considered a career in music.
I'm an accompanist.
However, in his teens, though, he discovered acting and went on to study at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, where he trained at the Atlantic Theater Company. He started acting in 1999, taking guest roles and small parts, establishing himself as a character performer and able sketch comedian. Simon got his first taste of fame in small roles on shows like Mad TV and Reno 911.
Hi, I'm Ronald Dunlap.
You don't have a driver's license.
Well, I have 3.
But his big break came in 2007 when he landed the role of Howard Wolowitz. With his signature bowl haircut and over-the-top flirtation attempts, Howard quickly became a fan favorite on The Big Bang Theory, despite being just a little too attached to his mom. Since The Big Bang Theory wrapped in 2019, Simon's kept busy. He starred in movies like Annette, 2021, where he showed off his musical talents and continued taking on diverse, often more dramatic roles. But unlike Howard, Simon's real-life relationships are far from complicated. He's been happily married to actress Jocelyn Towne since 2007. And the couple has 2 kids. Simon's also stayed grounded, pun intended, post-Big Bang. While he's not designing space toilets like Howard, he's continued to focus on his craft, balancing acting with family life. As of 2024, he's been rumored to be working on new projects, though he's kept a relatively low profile compared to some of his co-stars. On paper, it looked like he had it all, a hit show and a loving marriage. But behind the scenes, Simon was grappling with self-esteem issues and the weight of his mental health challenges. He admitted that these struggles delayed his plans to start a family, as he worked to find balance in his personal and professional life. Today, Simon is in a much better place. He's spoken about learning to manage his OCD and focusing on what truly matters, his family and his craft. He and Jocelyn now share 2 kids, and Simon's kept a steady, thoughtful approach to his career, post-Big Bang. Whether it's dramatic roles or spending time with loved ones, he's all about quality over quantity. Up next, let's check in on Rajesh Kuthrapali and the actor who brought him to life, Kunal Nayyar. Stay tuned.
Kunal Nayyar as Rajesh Kuthrapali. Raj was an astrophysicist with a love for romantic drama and, ironically, a fear of talking to women, unless he had a drink in hand. But what about the man behind the character? Kunal Nayyar was born in 1981 in London, but grew up in New Delhi, India. As a kid, he loved acting and performing in school plays, but no one could have guessed that this boy from New Delhi would one day become one of the highest-paid actors on TV. After moving to the US for college, Kunal studied business at the University of Portland, but his passion for acting led him to pursue a Master of Fine Arts in Acting from Temple University. That decision? Total game changer. Kunal got his start in small roles and theater productions, but his big break came in 2007 when he landed the role of Raj on The Big Bang Theory. Over the years, Raj transformed from a shy, awkward scientist to a confident, if occasionally over-the-top, hopeless romantic. Fans loved him for his quirky humor and complicated love life. even if he never quite found the one by the series finale. During The Big Bang Theory's heyday, Kunal became a household name and earned a whopping $1 million per episode, alongside his castmates in the later seasons. But while his on-screen life was filled with awkward relationships, his real-life love story was much smoother. In 2011, Kunal married former Miss India Neha Kapoor in a stunning wedding that looked straight out of a Bollywood movie. Talk about living the dream. After the show ended in 2019, Kunal stayed busy. He appeared in films like Think Like a Dog and voiced characters in animated projects like Trolls.
Make way for the total package: brains, personality, and good luck.
He also starred in the crime drama series Suspicion on Apple TV+, showing fans a completely different side of his acting chops. And as of 2024, Kunal continues to balance Hollywood projects with his love for travel and philanthropy. He's even hinted at writing a second book after the success of his first, Yes, My Accent is Real. Kunal Nayar's Rajesh Kutrapali was a fan favorite on The Big Bang Theory, but not all of his jokes have aged gracefully. Recently, the spotlight turned to a controversial line from Season 2, where Raj compared Bollywood legends Aishwarya Rai and Madhuri Dixit in a way that left fans and critics shocked. The line? Brace yourselves. Aishwarya Rai is a goddess. By comparison, Madhuri Dixit is a leprous prostitute. Yikes. Given that Kunal Nayar, like his character, is of Indian descent, the backlash was swift. The line, initially dismissed as part of the show's humor, has sparked fresh outrage in light of modern sensibilities. Netflix even received a legal notice from Indian political analyst Mithun Vijay Kumar, demanding action for what he called a derogatory comment against Madhuri Dixit, a beloved Bollywood icon. As of now, Nayar hasn't publicly addressed the controversy. But this isn't the first time The Big Bang Theory has faced criticism for its early humor. Even creator Chuck Lorre has admitted that some jokes, like the infamous sperm bank scene in the pilot, haven't aged well. So, what do you think? Should Netflix step in, or should we view this as a product of a different time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Mayim Bialik as Amy Farrah Fowler. Next up, we have Mayim Bialik, the brainy and socially awkward Amy Farrah Fowler, who stole our hearts, and Sheldon Cooper's, on The Big Bang Theory. But did you know Mayim was a star long before she joined the gang at Caltech? Let's dive into her fascinating journey. Mayim was born in 1975 in sunny San Diego, California, into a Jewish family. Her name, which means water in Hebrew, was a nod to her family's deep cultural roots. Growing up, she was more than just a smart kid. She was gifted. And it didn't take long for Hollywood to notice. Mayim got her start as a child actor, appearing in shows like Webster and MacGyver. But her breakout role came in the early 90s as the star of Blossom. Remember that floppy hat and her quirky best friend Six? Yep, that was her. After Blossom wrapped, Mayim did something rare in Hollywood. She stepped away from acting to focus on her education. And not just any education. This girl went full real-life Amy Farrah Fowler. Mayim earned a PhD in neuroscience from UCLA, specializing in obsessive-compulsive disorder in adolescence.
PhD in neuroscience from UCLA. And
wow.
Yes.
Talk about putting the big brain in The Big Bang Theory. She even credits her academic background for helping her land the role of Amy, who was introduced as Sheldon's quirky love interest in Season 4. Mayim was originally supposed to be a one-off character, but her chemistry with Jim Parsons was undeniable. She quickly became a fan favorite, and Amy's relationship with Sheldon turned into one of the most iconic and slowest-burning love stories on TV. However, the difference between the salary of Mayim Bialik and the rest of the cast of The Big Bang Theory raised eyebrows and sparked plenty of debate among fans and industry insiders. By the later seasons, the original 5 cast members, Jim Parsons, Kaylee Cuoco, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, and Kunal Nayar, were each pulling in a jaw-dropping $1 million per episode. Meanwhile, Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch, who joined the series in Season 4, were earning around $200,000 per episode. That's a significant difference considering how much Amy and Bernadette contributed to the show's success. As their roles grew more prominent, the salary gap became harder to justify. Fans questioned why Mayim and Melissa weren't being paid on par with the original cast, especially since the show was raking in millions per episode and breaking records for syndication deals. The issue came to a head during contract renegotiations for the final 2 seasons in 2017. To address the disparity, the original 5 stars took a pay cut, reducing their salaries to $900,000 per episode. This allowed Mayim and Melissa to receive raises, bumping their paychecks to $500,000 per episode. While Mayim Bialik has earned her place as a celebrated actress and neuroscientist, her journey hasn't been without controversy. Over the years, her views on various topics, ranging from science to parenting, have sparked intense debates online and in some cases, outright backlash. Let's break down the key moments that landed her in hot water. First up, vaccines. Back in 2009, Mayim shared in a People magazine interview that she was part of a non-vaccinating family, a choice she said was based on research and discussions with her pediatrician. Later, she blogged on Kveler, endorsing Dr. Bob Sears, a controversial figure in the anti-vaccine community. Things took a turn for the worse when Sears made a shocking comparison between the persecution of anti-vaccine parents and the treatment of Jews during the Holocaust, a statement he later apologized for. Although Mayim has since clarified that her children were vaccinated in line with their school requirements, critics argue her past comments added fuel to the anti-vaccine fire. Then there's her take on contraceptives. In 2020, Mayim teamed up with Ricky Lake and Abby Epstein to crowdfund a documentary inspired by sweetening the pill. The project questioned the safety of the birth control pill and accused Big Pharma of manipulating women. In a promotional video, Mayim called the pill a powerful drug with a lot of side effects, citing concerns about depression and mood changes. While some praised her for raising questions, others accused her of spreading fear and misinformation. Mayim's parenting views have also sparked their fair share of controversy. She's a vocal advocate for home births, which is fine, until she addressed C-sections in a particularly eyebrow-raising way. In an interview, she mentioned knowing people who believe that if a baby cannot survive a home birth, it's okay for it to pass peacefully. She clarified that she doesn't personally subscribe to this belief, but even referencing it was enough to ignite outrage. And then, there's perhaps the most damaging moment: her 2018 New York Times op-ed about the Me Too movement. In the piece, Mayim suggested that her modest dress and reserved behavior helped her avoid harassment in Hollywood.
Big Bang Theory star Mayim Bialik is responding to backlash that she received about her op-ed in the New York Times about the allegation.
Critics accused her of victim shaming, implying that Weinstein's victims invited their assault by dressing provocatively. Though she apologized, saying, "You are never responsible for being assaulted." The damage was done and the backlash was severe. To her credit, Mayim has often apologized when her words have caused harm, but these controversies have undeniably impacted her public image. While many admire her brilliance and honesty, others feel her views can be tone-deaf or even harmful. So, what's your take? Are Mayim's comments a product of her candid nature, or should celebrities be held more accountable for the influence of their words? Melissa Rauch as Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz. Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz, the pint-sized powerhouse with the adorably high-pitched voice and a surprisingly fierce attitude. She wasn't just Howard's better half. She was the brains and sass that balanced out the chaos of the group. But what about Melissa Rauch, the talented actress who brought Bernadette to life? Let's take a closer look at her journey. Melissa Rauch was born on June 23, 1980, in Marlborough Township, New Jersey. She grew up in a Jewish family, and from a young age, she loved making people laugh. Fun fact, Melissa was a huge fan of Saturday Night Live growing up and dreamed of one day performing on the big stage. Her talent for comedy shined during her high school years, and she later honed her craft at Marymount Manhattan College, where she studied acting. In 2009, Melissa joined The Big Bang Theory in its 3rd season as Bernadette, initially a guest star. But audiences fell in love with her, and before long, she became a series regular. Her character's evolution from Howard's soft-spoken girlfriend to his hilariously assertive wife, and mother of 2, was a fan-favorite arc. And who could forget her voice? That squeaky tone wasn't Melissa's natural voice, by the way. It was a genius creative choice she made for the character. During her Big Bang Theory years, Melissa wasn't just collecting laughs, she was also collecting paychecks. She used her fame to explore new creative avenues, starring in and co-writing the indie film The Bronze, where she played a disgraced gymnast with a big attitude, a far cry from Bernadette. On a recent episode of The View, Melissa revealed one of the bizarre obstacles she faced as an aspiring actress. A commercial director gave her some shockingly backhanded feedback, criticizing her hands during an audition for a restaurant ad. Melissa explained, "I sort of have hobbit hands. Especially when I was living in New York, they were always chapped." This critique actually cost her the job. Talk about needing thick skin to survive in Hollywood. But those hobbit hands didn't hold her back for long. Melissa started making a name for herself in New York's stand-up comedy scene, performing in clubs and even creating her own one-woman show, The Miseducation of Jenna Bush. This breakout project caught the attention of casting directors and led to her first TV roles. Off-screen, Melissa married writer and producer Winston Rauch in 2007, and they share 2 children. Though she keeps her family life mostly private, she occasionally opens up about the challenges and joys of balancing work and motherhood. Off-screen, Melissa married writer and producer Winston Rauch in 2007, and they share 2 children. Though she keeps her family life mostly private, she occasionally opens up about the challenges and joys of balancing work and motherhood. Some have stayed in the Hollywood spotlight, others have explored new passions, and a few have faced challenges along the way. But one thing's for sure, Sheldon, Leonard, Penny, and the gang will always have a special place in our hearts. Which cast member's journey surprised you the most? And what was your favorite Big Bang Theory moment? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a nostalgic deep dive.